Hello everyone, from left, Nur Farhadiba, Nur Ain, and it's Farzana.
Assalamualaikum and a very good day everyone. First and foremost, we are from group 35 of section 6 SECI 2143, that is probability, statistical and data and analysis subjects. We have carried out a survey on the health awareness among UTM students, and the survey is conducted to directly measure and assess the level of awareness on health of the students based on their lifestyle. Assessing students' level of awareness on health is crucially needed, as most of the students do not really care about their health, neither physically nor mentally. Less concern of the happen when students only focusing on their study or having too much fun with their surrounding. After all, we had blast a Google form entitled Health Awareness among UTM Johor Bahru students, and finally we received 60 respondents of students. So we had analyzed the results with different graphic presentation.
So the next one is a pie chart of the number of students based on their school. So as we can see that the highest number of students come from the School of Computing, which recorded about 42% of students, the total number of respondents, and the School of Mechanical Engineering and as well as School of Biomedical and Health Science recorded the lowest number of students who respond, which is only 6% and 70% respectively. So the next one, both of the school consists of only 4 students, and at the same time School of Electrical Engineering recorded to be slightly higher than the School of Civil Engineering, whereas both have recorded 18% and 12% respectively.
The bar chart illustrates the number of students' BMI based on their gender. It can be seen that the number of female students is the highest in the healthy BMI class, followed by the male students. For the obesity BMI class, there is no female student and only one male student. While in the underweight BMI class, both female and male students have almost the same number, but there is a significant difference that can be observed in overweight BMI class, which shows male students has the higher number than the male students. From the bar chart, we can assume that the female students of UTM has the ideal weight because the number of female students is the highest for the healthy BMI class.
Based on the histogram here, we can classify the data into 3 classes, which are 18 to 20, 20 to 22, and also 22 to 24, whereas each classes with size 3. For the first class, which is 18 to 20, the results shown that it has the highest number of students with the value of 42. Next, the lowest number of students can be seen from class 22 to 24, which is lower than the second class, which is 20 to 22, whereas both of the class consist of 13 and 5 students respectively. The calculated mean of this graph is 20.47, and the median calculated is 20. So at the same time, the variance of this graph is 1.54, and the standard deviation is 1.24. So from these two information, we calculated the skewness and the equivalencies, which are 0.5 and 2.8 respectively. So from here we can see that the skewness is greater than 0 and it is in the positive direction. On the other hand, the courtesies shows it as less than 3, whereby it is called a platycratic of graph.
So for the stem and leaf that we can see is represent age of the targeted group, which is UTM students. And so what is the function of stem and leaf is to visually represent the quantitative data. So according to that, we can simplify that total students of age 18 and 19 are 3, 20 is 39, 21 is only 2 people, 22 is 8 people, and 23 is 5 people. The scale of this stem and leaf is 0.1.
The next graph is frequency distribution of number of cup of water a day taken by the students. The frequency distribution shows the number of cup of water a day taken by a sample of 65 UTM students. In the sample, the number of students that takes less than average or mean equals to the number of students that takes more than the average or mean. The intake of 0 cup of water a day occur as infrequently as the intake of more than 9 cups of water per day. This frequency distribution is relatively symmetric. This general shape is not far from the idealized bell curve. This distribution also shows that the graph has a leptokurtic curve. A leptokurtic curve means that most of the data, or in this case the students, located around the mean, almost around the mean.
So the scatter plot above show about number of students versus BMI. In the scatter plot, we also attach the data of the students that are agree or disagree of the statement that is genetic is the main factor of someone's BMI. So majority of the students, with total of 38 students, got the BMI healthy, and between them 20 of them agree about the statement that about genetic, and 80 of them disagree of it, which is I think the amount we think the amount quite balanced. Next, for the underweight class, which is there are 16 students in it, there are 11 of them agree of the statements and 5 of them disagree of the statement that is genetic is main factor of someone's height. So we can see that the total number of students that is agree of the statement is more exceeding the total of disagree. And next, for the overweight class, there are 9 people in it, and between that 9 people, 4 of them is agree and 5 of them is disagree of the statement. And lastly, for the obese student, we only get 1 respondent, and he or she also agree that genetic is the main factor of someone's weight. So we can conclude that the statement genetic is the main factor of someone's weight in this survey is more likely agree than is disagree. However, some might answer disagree, as they looking on the factors such as diet, exercise, or workout can affect someone's weight, not due to genetic. Other than that, we also can conclude that most of the students of UTM is healthy as their BMI.
Next, the image shows a combined bar chart of number of times students exercise in a week and their opinion on does exercise give them a deeper sleep. Okay. From the combined bar chart, only one student disagreed with the statement does exercise give them a deeper sleep. Most of the students that agreed on the statement, which is 21 students, exercise once a week, and the least of them, which is 8 students, exercise twice a week. We can see the range between two data. The highest times they exercise and the least time they exercise is 13 students. From this collected data, we can assume that exercise does give you a booster for a deeper sleep.
So the box plot above shows about total hours of sleep per day among UTM students. As you can see, there is no outliers in it. Also, the dataset is symmetrical as the mean is at the middle. And the first quartile of this data is 5.75, the quartile is 9.25, and the mean is 5.75. It can be seen that students chose to sleep between 4 to 13 hours per day. However, based on data that collected on the survey, mostly students sleep from 5 to 6 hours per day, which is quite normal. It is because we must need to get sufficient sleep in order to get energy on the next day. But too much sleep also can increase the risk of diabetes, heart disease, stroke, and death. We also can get tired if we have too much sleep. Too much sleep is defined by greater than 9 hours. So the perfect total hours to sleep is between 6 to 8 hours.
So next is the is a pie chart of number of times of students go for a medical checkup. So as we can see that the highest number of students, which is 60% of students, go for a medical checkup only when needed. So this only when needed we consider as for university purpose, etc. And then the least times of student go for a medical checkup is 1.7%, which is consists only a student who go for a medical checkup more than twice. So there are also some students who never go for a medical checkup, which is about 8.3%, and at the same time for about 23.3% of students go for a medical checkup once a year, and the rest of them go for a medical checkup twice in a year.
So the scatter plot is show about number of students versus their rate. About the statement is, do you think that junk food is delicious? So 20 of them rate it as 1 and 2, 40 of them rate it as 3, and 3 of them rate it as 4, while the other 2 rate it as 5. So 1 is strongly agree, 2 is agree, 3 is slightly agree, 4 is slightly disagree, and 5 is strongly disagree. So we can conclude that people in this age so we can conclude that people at this age rate junk food as delicious because as they highly rated to it. So you guys must be wondering why they are highly rated to it. We also have prepared a question about their reasons of this statement.
Next, this bar graph shown the number of times of students eat junk food in their daily life. So as we can see that for about 48 out of 60 students recorded, which is the highest number of students recorded for this, around 1 to 3 times they recorded to eat junk food for around 1 to 3 times in their daily life. Other than that, there are only 2 students who eat junk food for greater than 6 times, and there are also 3 students who did not eat junk food at all. So other than that, there are 7 students who eat junk food in their daily life for 4 to 6 times, which is slightly higher than the number of students who eat junk food for more than 6 times.
So the scatter plot above show about why students like to eat junk food. So is total students versus their reasons, and 46 of them answering that they like to eat junk food because it is delicious and satisfying. 32 of them answer that because it is easy to get, and 9 of them answer that they like junk food because it is cheap. Only 1 of them answer that it is for craving purposes, and 2 of them said it is for other option.
So here is a pie chart of junk food of statement of junk food makes you fatter but happier. So out of 60 students, there are 71.7% of students who agree that the junk food makes you fatter but happier. So the rest of 38.3% of the students did not agree with the statement of junk food makes you fatter but happier.
Moving on to the next graph, which is a bar chart of how often students take breakfast. From the bar chart, it shows that most of the students take their breakfast sometimes, with 35 students, while students who take their breakfast once in a while have the least number of students with 8 students. So the range between these highest and lowest data is 27 students. So from the bar chart, we what we can interpret or assume that most of the UTM students only sometimes take their breakfast.
Based on the result that we have obtained, we can see that most of the respondents are the female students as well as come from the School of Computing. So we are assuming that they are our own friends, which our classmates and so on. Then we can see that the highest number of respondents can be seen from the age of 20. So we can say that they are living in healthy lifestyle as they need to keep their shape in their best look to look good every day. So we consider this is the reason why most of the result for the BMI are the highest for healthy. But however, we can see that there are still some students who are overweight as well as underweight. So from here we can see we should see the other factor other than keeping a healthy lifestyle, which is the genetic factor. So this support the reason why most of the students agree that the genetic is the main factor of someone with. Because I am sure we are sure that no one would like to be those in the not healthy BMI, underweight or overweight. Other than that, we can see that half of the students took about 4 to 6 cups of plain water daily. We can say that this may because of there are plenty of sources to get the plain water in UTM, such as COVID. At the same time, most students spend once a week for exercise. So since there are a lot of facilities in UTM, we consider that the student will have many things to do in their daily life, as well as we can see there are 2 sports hall in UTM. However, for each places in UTM, they are not placed closely. So this support the reason. This may be the reason why most of the students took about 2,000 to 5,000 steps a day. Meanwhile, 59 out of 60 students agreed that exercise gave a boost for a deeper sleep, and this shown that why most of the students sleep for 6 hours total in a day, since most of them do exercise once, and 6 hours of sleep are recommended hours of sleep for adults, and this is supported with 88.3% of students agreed that enough hours of sleep let you focus more in class based on their own experience. From the result, we can see that junk food are said to be delicious and satisfying as well as easy to get and grab. So this is why 80% of the students eat junk food for 1 to 3 times a week, as well as rated 4 and 5 for their like of junk food. However, we are all aware that junk food is not good for our health, but it does taste good. As we can see, the reason why students still eat them, when most of them agreed that junk food makes you fatter but happier. In conclusion, the level of awareness in students in UTM Johor Bahru are still in good condition. Even though they are aware of the unhealthy parts of their life, they are still practicing the good ones such as exercising, taking breakfast and get enough hours of sleep. Thus, students who are in healthy condition should maintain that way, and the rest who are not need to improve themselves to be better.
Thank you everyone for listening to the end.
With
Also,
that,
thank you Dr.
we end
Chan. Our presentation with